We are here at the New York headquarters of Aescape. Eric is here telling us all about the company. I want to start a little bit with your background because I get annoyed by this phrase, but you are a serial entrepreneur. You've done a lot at this point. So this is kind of a surprising pivot because you've done so much in tech and media. Walk us through your background.
So yeah, I've been building tech companies just about forever. I was 19 when I started my first. Before that, I couldn't have been any less significant, but I worked for Steve Jobs at Next Computer, which was his company after he left Apple and went on a journey and ultimately went back to Apple, bought Next, and that's the software on the computers today, and even on your iPhone now. Being there, it was formative, right? It helped me to really understand the importance of obsessing over the product and obsessing over the consumer experience. And so as I've built each of the businesses, and now particularly this one, I've really learned that the details matter and the people really, really matter.
Did you interact with him much there, or what was that relationship like?
It was lightweight. I interacted, we would demo together. He had a journey of his own. Again, I was wet behind the ears. I was incredibly unimportant
Totally,
in the
but
business.
that's a really formative experience when you're that young and you see how somebody approaches building a tech company.
And you see how much the quality of the humans in the organizations matter in the experience that ultimately gets delivered to the consumer.
So you said this is much harder than you expected. But this also wasn't the first company you started. So it seems like you knew a little bit what you were signing up for. What's made you decide to go this route as opposed to getting a more corporate or conventional type job?
You know, I figured out early on in my life that I was entirely unemployable by anyone but myself. And so it meant I had no choice but to go and make my own path.
What does that mean, that you were unemployable?
It means that I am a strong-willed person. I tend to follow a path that I believe is the right path to follow, and I'm incredibly influenceable along the way, but I like to drive the mission, and I tend to drive a little bit faster and a little bit harder than a lot of people around me, and it just means that I tend to be the one to have to make my own way.
So you went from more of a tech background. This is obviously a tech company, but a hardware company, I think you said this, is hard. Mm-hmm. That's a very different kind of technology company. So what made you decide to start this? And when you started it too, I mean, no one was really talking about robotics and AI the way that people are talking about it today.
Right. It was definitely a bit ahead of the curve, and I felt that in the earliest days, trying to raise money, trying to attract talent. This was challenging in the early days. But there were two big drivers for me. So first off, I had a personal health issue, and I needed a massage every day of my life for about 8 months just to exist, just to be able to turn my head and sleep at night. And most of the massages that I got left me wanting. So the idea sprung up as a gap in the market, an opportunity to start to deliver something that was very personalized. But the other side of it is, I really wanted to do something that would help the planet and help people. I'd built a lot of businesses that have delivered value in a bunch of different ways, but I wouldn't say the world is a better place for any of them. Some people have bought some nice homes and changed their lives as a result, but nobody's health is in a better place.
It's a handful of people, not everyone.
Not at scale. And health and wellness have always been a passion of mine since my teen years, and now I get to combine all that into something that hopefully will help a whole lot of people.
Okay, so rewind a few years back. So I mean, how do you even approach something like this? Because you, I understand, built the technology, right? So how are you able to sell people on your vision at the same time that you're creating a robot?
Proof points. Proof points are really important along the way. So you make little bits of investment, you learn a bit, you evolve, you showcase, you involve people in the community who are inclined to get interested in things like this. And as you move along, you present opportunities for more people to get involved, whether that's more capital to come into the business or more human talent or more intellectual capacity. What I've found is really interesting about building startups is that in the very earliest days, people like to root for you. People like to just be there on the sidelines, cheering and offering intellectual advice, technical advice, emotional support, because I think there's something in the American spirit about the journey as much as it is the destination. I think once you reach a certain point in the destination, people like the business a little bit less.
Then you're slapped with an antitrust lawsuit.
Exactly, you become the anti-hero. But in the early days, it's a lot of fun and it's engaging. And As you build a network, particularly in a city like New York, where it's so much density and you have so much talent here, you find that really good people get attracted to really interesting projects. There's spectacular health and wellness talent here in the city, people who understand the capital markets and how to finance this. There's really good technical talent that's grown over time as this has become such the startup hub. And now we're at a place where if you're starting a business in New York today, you have everything you need to build something meaningful.
Tell us more about, you think this is the hub for health and wellness, for financing, and now tech. Why do you think technical talent and people working in tech have been attracted to here? Because it doesn't seem like that's always been the case.
It definitely hasn't always been the case. It takes an ecosystem and it takes time. It takes generations of companies where early founders who didn't have access to all the resources built something against all the odds and they found success in it. They either hit an IPO or they had a big sale, and now they become investors and they support other entrepreneurs and they help to build the community in one little pocket at a time. That's happened over the past 15 years here as more and more companies have found success here. And in a world where young, enthusiastic, bright technical talent have effectively unlimited choices, the ability to ply their trade in a market where there are others like them, and it's the greatest city on earth, I mean, that's kind of attractive, right? That tends to pull people in.
I think that's such a good point, though, about it being a virtuous cycle, because it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Right? And so I think maybe we're finally kind of seeing some of that come to fruition. But what other things make you excited about being in New York? I know you travel a lot, but you always come back to this city. What is it about New York that keeps you here?
It's the density that creates opportunities for serendipity that you just don't find elsewhere. The opportunity at any moment in time to bump into a situation that could lead to something that was unanticipated. And I find that happens as much in business life as it does in personal life here.
Are there moments that have happened like that for you that have really helped your business?
It's so important to just show up.
Yeah.
And the city gives you a lot of opportunities for places to just show up.
So you're back in the office, I take it.
I'm back in the office. Yeah.
Okay.
We never really left.
Really?
COVID hit. We did about 6 weeks apart. We were a small team at the time. I think we were maybe 6 or 7 people, and we all just agreed we would be the friend circle and we wouldn't interact with anybody else. And we were chomping at the bit. We have hardware to build, we have massages to deliver and develop, and the only way to do that is on the robot and experiencing it in person.
Yeah, no, you can't do a remote massage.
No.
So tell me too, so you started this company, I believe, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And have you been mostly focused on building the technology? What was that even like to try and create robots, I assume, out of nothing? And then now you're in the beta stage where this is basically ready to be deployed, right?
This is hard. It's really hard. And it's not just the building of the hardware, it's that this is the first real example of robots autonomously coming in contact with human bodies.
Yeah.
And we take that very seriously. We take the sanctity of that role very, very seriously. So while in the early days, it was the scientific discovery around being able to generate the algorithms that move robots in a way that, as you felt, they feel very familiar but comforting at the same time and a little bit different. We then had to move on to all of the other conditions of being able to operate in a room where people are going to be on their own. People are going to need to be able to trust the environment where they are. And there's just tremendous complexity behind that. So a lot of the work was really around that, figuring all of that out. And then at the same time, going out and engaging with industry and creating a model that the operators of massage services at scale would want to bring into their businesses.
Yeah, and you're working right now, you have this technology and you are deploying it at a lot of different locations. This year, I think, is the first year. So
this is the year. This is the year we're just getting
showtime.
started. It's showtime. Yeah, we're ready to go, and we're excited for it. We've worked very closely with the market, and the product fits. It's not intended to be a massage therapist. We're not trying to replace a massage therapist or be a massage therapist, but we think it fits in different ways, and we think it's great for all of the reasons that you would want a personalized automated experience.
Well, one of the partners you're working with is Equinox,
Yes.
and they, of course, are a fitness company. They have gyms, and so it seems, at least with them, it's got to be maybe less about a relaxation experience and more about sort of making your body more efficient and recovery. And I know in the massage experience I just had, a lot of it's all about recovering muscles, stretching, and so would you say, is this more of kind of a fitness product than a relaxation product?
I think the product has been designed for people who want to take care of their bodies.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you're not relaxing in that moment, but we're giving you opportunities to learn through the product. You see on screen muscles. We talked about this when you were getting your massage. You see and learn more than you would with a traditional massage experience. And as you can increasingly self-direct this, we think it's really designed for people who want to fix whatever's going on. Maybe it's stress, or maybe they're recovering from a big workout and they need a particular muscle worked on. It fits in spa environments, but it's not designed to be the experience that you would have in a spa with a massage therapist.
Interesting. And so do you think this can kind of go not in hand, but hand in robotic arm with conventional massage therapy? Because it does seem like there's something so different about human touch than a robot.
We think this exists side by side. We think great therapists do things that we're just not interested in doing. We think this can also become a tool for therapists, particularly those who have a long-standing relationship with their clients, where they're learning about their clients' bodies and needs and directing and guiding the care. But then this can come in and do a lot of the harder, deeper work that's really challenging on the body. And so it's an opportunity to extend their relationship with their clients by having something that can be done in between sessions, and maybe even extend their careers because they're putting less strain on the joints that take a lot of wear.
Where do you see Aescape in the next few years expanding to?
So we're really excited about the hospitality category right now, and we're working with a bunch of really great hotel brands to roll this out. But this is also a corporate office amenity. It'll go into retail environments, multifamily dwellings, professional sports teams, and we think there are even opportunities to create new spaces where people get massages where they don't get them today.
Like where?
We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, come on. You can tell us. I mean, what, the mall?
You can get a massage
Central
in the mall
Park?
today.
Okay.
Maybe Central Park. That sounds fun.
I feel like you have ideas and you just want to share them.
We have a lot of ideas. You'll have to come back.
Oh, okay. Eric, one of the things you mentioned, I think this is interesting, is this is really the first product of its kind where you're having robot interact with a human. I know there's, I mean, there's obviously other ways that exists right now, but you're trying to unveil this across the board. And what is the reception? Because you've done a lot of beta testing. Have people had a difficult time sort of feeling comfortable with this? Do you think people are able to relax as much around a machine, or what kind of feedback are you getting on that front?
We hear about people falling asleep during their massages, which is a great sign. We love hearing that. People all view technology very differently. And with every new technology that comes into existence, there's a bell curve of people who will adopt it. And out here on the front, you have the early adopters, and out here at the very end, you have the people who are just resistant and I don't want change. Yeah. And then there's a spectrum in the middle. What typically happens is the enthusiasts will try it first, and if it's good, they'll tell their friends and they'll tell their families and they'll say, hey, you should really try this. This was great. And it starts to grow the adoption along the curve. We're only shipping 200 tables this year, so we couldn't handle it if the entire world said, we want a massage from you right this moment. We'll ship more next year. We'll introduce this into more locations where people can get it. And as we do that, there will be more and more people out telling the story about how great their massage was.
And talk to us too about the pricing. How much does it cost to create one of these machines? And then how much does it cost to actually get one of these massages?
So we license the machines out to businesses where these go. And we license it out for $7,500 a month, which works out to about $250 a day to operate it. So for hospitality partners that are driving lots of people through, they see payback on it very, very quickly. In corporate environments, it's a great wellness amenity, a great opportunity to get people back into the office if they're not already there today, or to keep them coming back into the office. Maybe you have free massage Fridays to make sure the weekends don't become 3-day weekends.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
We see that here. And for consumers, the price is set by the location where these go. The floor price is $60 for a 30-minute session, so $2 a minute. We think it's a great value, though, because you have two arms that are applying force to the body simultaneously, and that 30-minute treatment feels like you've been on the table for an hour.
Okay. And can you get longer massages?
You can get longer massages. You can go as long as you like.
And what are you focused on now? Are you focused on creating the ability to massage someone's face? Are you creating different sort of arms that feel maybe more like fingers as opposed to the hand. What new technology are you focused on?
So we're just launching commercially next month. I'm really excited about rolling out what we have now, but we're going to be adding more regions of the body, more massages, and more ability to really personalize it to exactly what you want to get.
200 locations. Are we talking mostly New York, LA, or?
Big cities. Big cities predominantly, yeah, to start. That's for just this year, and then we'll have a nationwide rollout that'll be happening over the course of next year.
Okay. 5 years, what is your prediction? Do you think we're going to see robots in all kinds of new places and restaurants? Where do you think we're going to see robots next?
I think this is just the beginning, and I think we've done a good job at automating virtual processes and helping people to be more productive through technology, automating our personal lives, automating our business lives, but we haven't done a very good job of automating our physical lives. I think that comes next, and in a world where people increasingly don't want to do physical jobs, right?
Yeah.
Like if you run a restaurant today, it's really hard to hire restaurant staff.
Yeah.
If you run a massage studio, it's very difficult to hire a massage therapist. And you see that moving throughout all sorts of labor categories. I think we're going to see innovative solutions that, again, maybe don't try to recreate what the human equivalent was, but provide value through an innovative service that is fully automated.
What is that sort of reticence, you think? Is it just that there hasn't been an innovation in the space of helping people sort of in their physical world, or is it that people are hesitant to adopt it?
I think cost has been a big one.
Okay.
So cost of all the components. I think the machine learning models to drive robotics successfully in varied environments are all very new and evolving rapidly. They're getting there. And I think that we're just at the beginning, but I think we're about to see an explosion. I think we're going to start to see physical automation everywhere.
Interesting. And it's interesting too, the way you've outlined it isn't that robots are replacing jobs. They're just basically taking over jobs that no one else seems to want at this point.
We collectively are consuming more and more, right? We want more services. We want more things. Those all have to be produced somehow, and there just aren't enough people to deliver on all the things that we want.
The future of Aescape, obviously you're deploying, it's an exciting year for you. Are you looking at raising more capital, going public? What's next for the company?
We're really focused on delivering a great consumer experience, getting the products to market, and making sure they are delightful. So expect to see us live this year, expect to see a lot more of us next year, and a ton of innovation behind that.
That's a wrap on today's episode of NYNext. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. You can also catch us on the New York Post YouTube channel. And of course, be sure to follow us on social media for the latest updates and behind-the-scenes content. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. Join the conversation and let us know what you think.